So my buddy Brian just got himself a griddle, and he said, Johnny, you got a channel on YouTube all about griddling, and you worked in Bob Evans for 3 years and in restaurants for basically your whole life. What is all that I need to know? I was like, well, there's really 4 things you need to know. You need to know how to season it. You need to know which accessories to buy, and I'm not going to tell you like buy $100 accessories and buy 20, 30 things, just the basic accessories. You need to know what I think is most important, how to get it to the right temp and which temp to cook your foods at, different foods, different temperatures, and you need to know how to clean it when you're done. Let's go over those things. You need 4 things in order to season a griddle. You're going to need oil. I prefer canola or avocado. If you want to do a bunch of research on the internet, you can go down that rabbit hole. I'm just going to warn you, there's lots of people with very strong opinions about it. Use whatever oil you want, man. You just need to get an oil to burn off on this griddle. You need paper towels to put it onto the griddle. And then you need tongs, because when you're putting it on, the griddle's going to be hot. And if you use your bare hands, you're probably going to burn the hair off your knuckles. I didn't do that, I know a friend who's done that. And you're also gonna need some beer. I'd say anywhere from 3 to 6 beers, depending on how much you like to drink, what type of mood you're in, or maybe how work's going that week for you. I chose 6 beers because my boss keeps having hour-long meetings that could easily be summed up in about a 10-minute email. First, you want to wipe your griddle down with just some water. You could use soap at this point, you really don't have to. You're just wiping off anything that was in the box or the warehouse it was in, or you bought it from Lowe's, and I mean, who knows? Just wipe it down real quick, turn it to high, let it go for about 10 to 15 minutes till it starts to discolor. All right, so you're burning everything off. Sometimes there's some factory oil on there too to protect it. You're burning that off, you're burning everything off, and it's gonna start to discolor. Then, after 15 minutes, you start with the oil. Depending on which size griddle you have, if you have a 2-burner griddle, you want to use like 2 tablespoons of oil. If you have a 4-burner griddle, you'll use 3 tablespoons of oil. Do not use more. You start as little as you possibly need to spread across the griddle, because you don't want it to pool up. You're burning it off. The thicker your oil is, the longer it takes to burn off. So I'm going to spread it around as thin as you can. Make sure you get up on the sides here, just like my buddy Brian's doing on his new 2-burner Blackstone. Get it all the way around and then let it burn off. We used avocado oil on his. It's going to take about 15 minutes to burn off. Then you're going to repeat that step 2 more times. After that, that's it. You got yourself a brand new seasoned griddle. You don't need to burn off more than 3 coats. I've seen people burn 5 or 6. At that point, you're just looking for a reason to drink all day. And I'm not judging you, you know, I'm not. I'm just saying you could go golfing or something if you wanted to drink all day, or start cooking on it and continue to drink. But you don't need to burn off 6 coats of oil. In my opinion, there's only 3 accessories you have to have, and those are tongs, which you already needed anyways to season, a spatula or 2. Just make sure it's metal. Sorry, I just cooked some burgers. This one's maybe not the cleanest. And then also, the most important one, an infrared thermometer. That might be controversial. Other people want you to buy, I don't know, a taco holder or a smash burger press like this big, but you need an infrared thermometer because you need to know what temperature your griddle is so you can cook your food at the proper temperature. Okay, like it's just that simple. Low, medium, high, those aren't temperatures. Common argument is, well, what about my stove, Johnny? I cook on my stove. Well, look, okay, your stove is inside in conditioned air, probably around 70 degrees, unless you keep it up by 80, like you're cold all the time. But most houses are at 70. These griddles are outside. You don't know what part of the country you're cooking in. My buddy Frank lives in Montana, and he's cooking up there in the middle of fall, and someone else is cooking in Florida in the middle of summer. I mean, those are 2 different temperatures, so that's going to affect your griddle. Also on the stove, those 4 burners cook individually of each other. If one's on high, it's not going to affect the other burners. It doesn't matter. If your middle burner's on high on a 4-burner griddle, that heat is going to radiate over into the other burners. So it doesn't matter if you go 2 of them on low and then 2 of them on high. It's going to really affect it. So if you also have a 2-burner or a 4-burner, that's going to affect it. If you have a 2-burner and you have 2, you say put both of them on low. And I got a 4-burner and I put 4 of them on low. Well, mine's going to be hotter because I got 4 burners on low. It's just, so get a thermometer. They're only like 30 bucks. I'll put a link in the description on Amazon, or just go to Lowe's. You know, they should only be like $25, $30. Get yourself an infrared thermometer. You really need to have one. Oh, okay. All right, now that I've planted my flag on the thermometer hill, let's go over temperatures and, you know, why I think it's important. Okay, so look, let's say you're making steak and egg breakfast. I want to cook my eggs at 300 degrees. I want to cook my potatoes at like 350. And then I want to cook my steak. I want to get a sear on my steak, so I want to put that down at like 450. Well, if you're just guessing all willy-nilly on the griddle, you're going to put your eggs in the spot that's like 400, and they're going to burn so quick before your steak's even done, and you're going to end up with a nasty breakfast. So you just got to make sure you know your temperatures on the griddle. There's different things you cook at different temperatures. I'll give you a quick overview. So eggs, and I toast my bread around 300, 350 to 375. I do most of my cooking, like most of just bacon, sausage, regular burgers, chicken breast. You can get up to 400 too, almost a 350 to 4 on this. Potatoes, pancakes, anything like your general stuff, I'm going around there. Once I get over 4, that's for very specific things. I will sear a steak over 400. I will do smash burgers over 400, close to 450, or even higher if you want. Even higher if you want. So, you know, but you don't want to put your eggs down at 450. You don't want to toast your bread at 450. It's not going to be toasted. It's going to be burnt, man. Like, it's going to be really burnt. So that's why it's important. We'll look at this video real quick here. I was doing breakfast, so you can see I got it set up kind of like medium, low, off. Yeah, so then you can see as I go back with the thermometer, it's like 280, almost 300. That's where I'm going to do my eggs at. Then it goes over 325 to 350 where the bacon is. And the potatoes all the way on the right are creeping up towards 400. That's fine. The potatoes will be fine at 400. I don't want the bacon over there at 400 because it's thick cut bacon and it'll burn. So I started the bacon at like 375, then I moved it over to the warming zone. And that's the spot I eventually did my eggs at. So that's how we always set it up at Bob Evans and every restaurant I've worked. That's the whole point of having numerous burners, dual zones, zone cooking, have a warming zone so you can move stuff to the side, let it stop cooking for a little bit. So you really want to know your temperatures, and you want to utilize them for zone cooking and cooking different items. If you're finding this information helpful and you would like more, I have an ebook in the description that goes over all the things I talked about in more detail, along with other things about griddling and 50 recipes for beginners, the basics that you're going to want to cook: cheesesteaks, fried rice, breakfast, pancakes, omelets, normal stuff. So it's in the description if you'd like to pick it up. Cleaning a griddle is like cleaning cast iron. Griddles are similar to cast iron. We already seasoned it similar to a cast iron. Now we'll clean it. You don't want to use soap. You don't want to use chemicals. You're just going to use water, and you're going to scrape off all the food debris and all the grease. That's it. Turn everything down to low. You still want a little bit of heat on there. Start squirting the water down, scraping everything into the trough. I like to use a dough scraper. I feel like mine has a beveled edge and it's easier to get. However, the steam will burn you, so be careful if you use something like this. You can buy a longer scraper. They sell them. I have one you see here. Or you can use a spatula. It's just going to take a while with a spatula. Once you get everything off, if there's any debris that you can't get, squirt a little more water. That'll loosen it up. Maybe you put some like barbecue sauce or something with sugar in it down on the griddle. That's fine. It'll come up. Then wipe it all down. You don't want any water. Again, it's like cast iron. It will rust, so you want no water. But that's also why we left it on low, because between wiping it down and being on low, all the water is going to be gone. So once it's dry, you'll put another like 2 tablespoons of oil on, spread it around, turn everything off, and you're good to go. You're not burning this oil off. It's just like a protective layer to be on top of the griddle. So you're not burning it off at all. And then you want to cover it with a lid. Maybe you'll get a tarp. You don't have to get a tarp or a cover, but definitely get a lid to protect it from the elements. After that, your griddle's all good to go for your next cook. If you want more information about my ebook, click the video on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one and keep on griddling.